はい、しれとこです。シャーロック・ホームズチャプターワンをね、久々にやってきます。連日の BF 生活で体調崩してました。よし、やっていくか。はい、はいはいはいはい、思い出してきた。なんかいくつかやって、あと残る財宝は、これだけになったやつね。あれこれクリアしたっけ？あれいいのか。はいはい、これはこの前見つけたもんね。あとちょっとここの場所がわかんないから諦めてて、ということか。オッケーオッケー。はい。じゃあマイストーリーやっていきますか、久々に。超絶久々ですけど。なんか特にクエストらしいものは出てないと。はい、じゃあやっていきますかね。美術館への招待。美術館へのボーゲルの招待状。シャーロック・ホームズ君へ、もう気づいてるのは間違いないだろうが、君には私の作品展を見に来てもらいたい。美しい作品を満喫してもらうためではなく、君の頭脳が必要なのだ。美術館があるのは、旧市街地区の、バザー街道とヘルベスアベニューの交差点にある大正宿だ。お待ちしている。ここか。ここと合ってんのかこれ。ヘルメスアベニュー、バザー街道と、いいんだよね、ここだよね。こっちかな、間違いか。よし、行きますか。そうそうそうそう、前回ここのやつクリアしたんだ。体調崩してる間、ゴースト・オブ・ツシマやってたからな。なんか操作感が違うか。いや、なんか似てそうな雰囲気を、ちょっと見たことないような場所だったから来てしまったけど、特にこれと言ってなかったか。よし。
A fresh newspaper? I wish you...
事件の点も増えてるね。アーサー・リドリー将軍の息子であるマークの突然の死を受け、コルドナに激震が走った。警察が逮捕したのは、旧市街地区の名家である、高野家出身の小大氏その人である。英国軍とコルダ市民の間での緊張が高まっており、旧市街地区で起きた衝突ではすでに十数名の死者が出ている。当局は状況の沈静化に取り掛かっているが、秩序の回復にどれだけの時間がかかるのかは不明だ。かろうじて保たれていたコルドナの平和が終わりを告げるのだろうか。はい、俺のせいかもしれない。なんか怪しいな。お前だったのか。
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific. I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
What about this intrusion? What
こい
happened?
つ、
Last
何なん
night,
だ
I
ろう
was
ね。
about to leave the gallery when I heard a
怪
noise
しさ
downstairs.
満点なんだけど。
I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance.
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
反応がない。あ、反応あったわ。ケツ。めちゃくちゃ
You sure
有名
you
な。
don't like
びっ
art,
くりした。
Sherry? You sure you don't like art,
めちゃ
Sherry?
くちゃ有名な画家が。名を連ねてる。こっちゃいけない。でも集め方に統一性がない気がするけどね。時代も作風も。
I wish I could show you the gallery under different circumstances, but life is beautiful in its unpredictability, isn't it?
入り口か。来た場所だね。突き当たってどこだ？あそこね。オッケーオッケー。いかない。いや、近々行けないのか。
Back home, we've got a taxidermist.
あるじゃん。
He's gonna have a heart
ツ
attack
イ
when
ン
he
バーンの
sees
部
what
屋。
I bring him. Back home, we've got a taxidermist.
え
He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
A simplistic attempt at provocation.
あえて滴らせてんのかな、この。いや、違うな。火事で、あれか、消化したから、こんな水が。
Closed with a metal bolt.
引っかき傷。反応しないぞ。
Footprints. Size 9.5.
え？これじゃないの？中心じゃなきゃダメ？なんだろう？なんで反応しないんだこれ？バグってんのか？靴の跡。
Footprints. Size 9.5.
反応しないぞ。あ、そういうことね。これ一回見なきゃダメだったわね。どういうこと？
The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame.
What?なんだろう、こっちに行けたけど。終わる。
Old and hasn't been used for a long time. A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
なんかのギミックの一つなのかなこれ。シャーロックを試すためだけに何かしたカラス。
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
A handprint of the thing from another world. Plus it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Sodden and mold-ridden. One presumes deliberately.
のわ、有名な絵だ。
The parasites
俺で
of
も知ってる。
creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's Saturn devouring his son. Oh, grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
絵が置いてあった。
Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal mus... A Malpalbot.
マルパル。あ、待って、あ、待って。なんだろうね。一応全部の情報は取ったのかな。セーブはしときますか、一応。よいしょ。さて。じゃあ順番を確認していきましょうか。こっからまず侵入した形跡があったよね。はい。で、入ってタッチしたあそこ？ここに隠れた。で、選択肢を見よう、選択肢を。燃やした。
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wild's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
証拠が2個提示された。会話して聞いてみよう。
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
え、
It's a reflection on mortality. Nothing lasts forever, no beauty sustains itself, and everything succumbs to darkness. Am I right?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind.
煙にまことしてないそれ。
Embellishing a lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
真っ向
I
から
see
反対
then
して
why
る
you
ね。
dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My. Your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
ボス。
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
こいつ自
I
身
cannot
は
tell. But not only did he
集めてる
refuse
と
the
か持ってるわけじ
deal,
ゃないのか。
he insisted on displaying the painting in the public
持ち
space.
主が別
I
に
was
借
hoping
りて
to
んのか
change his
これ。
mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
ちゅうか画
What
家
was
か。
depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
OK。全部の情報を集めたと。さて、で、盗まれた可能性がある絵画。絵画に描かれているのは縄で縛られた女性が悪魔と性交をしながらも周りに集まった群衆と我々を見つめている構図だ。その赤い悪魔の背中からは無数の尾が生えている。絵画はコルトナの暗黒日の夜という作品群の一つだ。出口どこ？あ、これか。さてと、ボーゲルの話では、画家のボナファス・マーキュリーは旧市街地区に住んでいるが、詳しい住所は分からないそうだ。マーキュリーは高名な人物であるとも言っていた。ということはですよ、高名な人物は市役所に行って、登記情報を確認だ。市民。時代関係ねえか。職業。市民じゃないか。違う気がするな事業人物ってことは新聞社に行って情報を集めてみる。本のマークだからアーカイブから調べろっていう感じですよね。違うのかな違うのかな。どこだ。ここか。じゃあここだ。この馬車が邪魔で建屋の入り口が見えないって。地雷、大金、著名人、また、芸術家の展示会での喧嘩。先週上流階級の芸術家の間で新たな事件が発生した。ことが始まったのはコルダの芸術家たちに、大敗の踊りと名付けられた絵画の展示会だった。ライオン出版社の社長であるダロン・ターウィックが、デカダン派の画家であるボナファス・マーキュリオに椅子を投げつけたのだ。ターウィック氏は後に椅子を投げたのはマーキュリオ氏に侮辱されたからだと述べている。コーヒー店にいるマーキュリオ氏と、ターウィックが最近になって目撃されたことを筆者は追記しておく。その後、マーキュリオ氏を守るため、交響楽団の、指揮者であるカート・ギャラガー氏がターウィック氏の頭を絵画で殴った。多くの観客を巻き込み大きな喧嘩が勃発した。喧嘩の参加者たちは全員逮捕され1週間拘留された。なんと衝撃的な出来事だろうか。読者諸君には展示会で物産物土産物を 手に入れることをお勧めしたいが、展示会はすでに終わりを迎えている。しかしマーキュリオ氏は、読者諸君に彼の家を訪ねて絵画を買うよう促している。彼の住所は、旧市街地区スカーレット通りとオリーブ通りの間のヘルメスアベニューだ。見つけた。ヘルメスアベニュー、オリーブ通りとスカーレット通り。この辺ってこと？レッツゴー。遠いね。ヘルメスアベニュー。坂道のとこなんだ。ここか？違う。どっから入るんだろう。これじゃないな。さっきの。
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at...
Dearie, tell me because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
演奏しなきゃならんね。なるほど。だから写真があったのか。よし。マジ毎回ここのここの店に行ってさ、服着替えなきゃいけない。この見た目にならなきゃいけないわけだな、俺は。
Come, take a look at our clothes and accessories.
大体衣装は買ってあるから、このはだけたシャツは、これ。ダメだ。白いシャツを買わなきゃいけない。こんなシャツなくね？あったー。なるほど、レンタルできるやつは多分事件に関係があるやつなんだろうな。金がなくなってるわ。これでボサボサの髪で頭もちょっとうっすらハゲてる。髪の薄さまで表現するってなかなかだな。目は普通で、不精ひげ、こんなもんか。
Come, take a look at our clothes and accessories.
完璧と言ってもいいだろう。よし。レッツゴー。どこここ。 封鎖してるんだけど。よし。
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah. Old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
わざわざ話しかけ
How
して
are
な
you,
かったか。
Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake. How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
よし。君に鍵か。
Do you know what makes a lady happy? Paid rent.
死んでる。大家さん気づいてないじゃん。ナイフがなくなってる。
Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. I wonder where he got that fancy camera. It appears the wine was truly awful. The chest has been searched. Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here.
高いやつなのかな。
Red skin, tails on the back. Reminds me of Werner's description of the stolen painting. The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called expressionism.
Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days.
これはなんだ。
Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags.
喉を切られてるね。
The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife.
ナイフ。これが凶器か。
A normal kitchen knife. Could be the...
争った後
Look at this, John.
なん
Isn't
か
it
の
our stolen demon?
あれか。ゆすってたのかこれ。
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material.
絵を描くことによってこのなんだろうな、この集まってたお金持ってそうな人たちを譲ってなのかもしれないね。でそれを咎められて殺された的な、なんかそんな感じにちょっと見えるな。漁ってました。 最後にアサルト。ね、これ。
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying,
違うな。
Sherry.
ちょっと待って、どういうこ
Concentrate.
と？入り口近くの机の上に割とワイン。ここで殴ったのは確か、これからちょっとよくわかんないね、でも。これは絶対ないから、これで合ってる。
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
あれか、漁ってたら、こっちから出てくるのが見えて、走ってきました。で、それを、咎められて殴られたと。とっさに持ったナイフを使って刺し、殺した。これでいいんじゃないか？
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him.
.泥棒は学から不意打ちを受けた。はい。犯人が侵入したとき、マーキュリーは写真の現像をしている最中だった。箱の中身を物色しようとした犯人の物音を聞いて部屋に入ったマーキュリオはワインの瓶を片手に犯人に突進した。瓶は犯人の頭の上で割れた。自分の身を守らざるを得なくなった犯人は近くにあったキッチンナイフを武器として使った。マーキュリオは絵画を手に取るために脇への板がワインだ前が見えなくなっていた犯人は自分の身を守るためにナイフを振り回しマーキュリオの喉をかき切ってしまった。我に返った犯人はマーキュリオが血を流して床に倒れているのに気づいた。犯人は布を使って止血を試みたがすでに手遅れだった。だがなぜマーキュリオへの争いの最中に絵画を手に取ったんだ。あれ
It's time for some chemical magic, John.
マイナス2でしょ。これをまずは減算して2にし反転させ1でマイナス2し、マイナス1にし、2分の1にすると。OK。で、足して、足して、足して、足して、よし。マーキュリオの絵画、部屋の絵画、 薬品を使い、海外に着いた血を取り除くことができた。マーキュリオの部屋の静止画だ。ああ、なるほど。これで足りないものを探せばいいのかな。
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs.
.立てかけなくなってるよね。そこじゃないの。このやつがなくなってる気がするけど。
Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here.
.なくなったものを探せばいいんじゃないのか。違うか。ああ、立てかけにかけて、そういうことね。
I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here. I guess this is his most ordinary painting.
2つ違い？
Spot the two differences, John?
なんだろう、2つ違いって。あ、これ
Nothing
か。
behind it. Nothing behind it.
どこだ？確かこれがない。あ、でも、あるよな。
If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
表で探してこなきゃいけない。外かな。
Nothing behind it. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John?
ここに本が
Nothing behind it. If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
どこかにあるはず。あった。
Monster was actually a man. Poor girl.
なるほど。
John, you ought to be thrilled.
告
We are
発しようと
now
してた？
hunting the devil
これ女性を
himself.
襲ってたのは本当だったんだ。
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
誰？
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
これは見せられないタイプの絵か。写真か。
Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
すごい。勝手に妄想が絵を描いてくれたんだが。家主の女性に真実を伝えることをジョンは嫌がっている。彼の提案でマーキュリオのふりを続けることになった。なるほどね。確かトロフィーこれあったな。ちょっと待ってね。ちょっと待ってくださいね。これ。確かにあったぞ。なんか家主がうんならかんならっていうのがあったわ。ちょっと待ってね。トロフィーを表示させて。ちょっと待ってね。一瞬。未獲得で。ああ、なるほど。真実を伝えない。なるほど。これ情報が足りてないぞ。よいしょ。一回セーブはしちゃうか、でも。暴行者のスケッチ。マーキリオの部屋で見つけたのは若い女性が残酷にも暴行されている写真だった。ジョンが描き直した絵には、背中から尾が生えた赤いスーツを着た乱暴者が描かれている。重要な情報しか集まってないのは、これあれかな？この辺の会話が足りてないからかな。
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat, and don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Oh.
You're acting so strange today, dear. I hope someday you'll let me inside.
これで情報を聞いて回りやすか。手形と足跡はボーゲルの美術館にあった、石炭くずによってついたものだ。すいません。これ何を示してるんだ？泥棒は写真を探していた。写真を盗むためにマーキュリオの自宅に行った泥棒は本人と鉢合わせし、正当防衛で彼を殺害した。
That head of yours.
よし、行きますか。
Oh, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
ジョン、なかなか今回に限っては厳しいこと言うね。
Can I ask you a question?
Mr. Moneybags, can I give you a piece of advice? You don't want to bother me.
はい、着替えていきましょう。 今度は貧民の炒めをしていけば OK か。
Simply the best garments on the island.
OK。 ちょっとこの周辺で聞けばわかんのかな。
May I ask for your assistance?
Why don't you ask someone of your own kind?
あれだめだ、こいつはあれか。貧民ってわけじゃない。お前は
Could you help me?
You think it's funny to bother me?
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what?
オスマン系の服で行けばいいそれと。
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
What makes you think I can be of help to you?
全然ダメだ。貧乏人の加工すりゃいけるかと思ったけど。
Simply the best.
男向けの学校でひげを生やして
on the island.
これで OK？ こっちかな？近かったな。さあ、この周囲で聞いてみますか。
Help me, please.
I have nothing to say because I don't know. Check with someone else.
あれ、なんかむちゃくちゃ厳しい。黒人系に聞いてみるといいのか。
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing stands between me and helping a fellow citizen, except the absence of knowledge. Ask someone else.
ダメだね、黒人に聞いてみなきゃダメ。
May I ask you something?
We should stick together, especially in times like
よ
this.
し。
I'll tell you everything I know.
ジョンが書き直した身ごもった章じゃない。コロナで部族の傷を持つ人々がいるのはスカラディオとシルバートの間のビクトリアブリッジの下にある難民の野営地。難民の野営地。スカラディオとシルバートにあるどっちのあれだ。ビクトリアブリッジね。ビクトリアブリッジ、ビクトリアブリッジ。あ、シルバードンってそこか。ちょっと待って、フィルタリングがしたい。どこだ、ビクトリアって。あ。さて、行きますか。下にあるって言ってたな。あー、なるほどね、この辺か。
Beasts!
なんか起きてる。さて。
They're completely livid.
Do you know anything about this? Don't distract me. I can't help you.
Drop them all into the...
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm from City Hall. They sent me to oversee the situation.
No, you're not. I'm the supervisor of the camp, and I'm the one who's handling the current situation on behalf of City Hall. Ronald Harlow at your service. Now, sir, tell me who you really are, or you'll have to explain yourself to the police. I have full authority to request they detain you.
Very well, Mr. Harlow. I am a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness on my case. Sherlock Holmes is my real name, though.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized.
警察の学校してこなきゃいけない
So
か。
please, step back.
なんだろうね。警察。なるほど。逆にこれ嘘ついてる、もしかして。靴は綺麗だね。ロナルド・ハーローは、待って、どっちだ？どっちだろう？ちょっと待ってね。なるほど。まずトイレ行っては腹痛い。ちょっと待って、一緒に行ってきます。よし、戻りました。よし、これで推理に集中できるな。いやー、トイレ行きたかった。やばかったな。よいしょ。まあ、多分なんか、見た限り、これは多分上から言われて無理やり殺されたって感じか。違うな。多分上から命令されてここに無理やり殺さられたんだな。
The people in the crowd are shouting about a murder in the camp. Are you trying to hide it?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
If it was under control, if there was no dead body, you wouldn't be as nervous as you are. You would be sitting in your cozy dark corner of a city hall room doing nothing as usual. Yet, you're here, trying to deal with a series of problems you never asked for.
These insults are inappropriate. You don't know what I'm doing for this camp. Even though the rest of City Hall doesn't give a bloody squat about the refugees, maybe I didn't want to be assigned to this camp. But I'm trying to do my best for these people. If not for my work, they might not have any shelter or food even.
I apologize, Mr. Harlow. Perhaps I was prejudiced towards you, but in any case, I'm sure that you would still want this to be over as quickly as possible. The current reality is that neither you nor the police are managing things well here. You are unable to calm the crowd. You have simply never handled a situation like this before.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I'm looking for a young refugee woman. She must be inside the camp. She's with child or was with child recently. Help me find her, and I'll help you deduce what really happened here.
You may indeed be quite a perceptive fellow, but I still don't see how you can help me here.
Just tell the police I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest. Trust me. But first, we'll find my witness.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do and what I am responsible for are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
The police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Murder! Beast!
あれ違ったのかな、人物像。
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
Clearly a left handprint here.
殴られて手をついたみたいな。
A blood trail leading a furrow in the ground. Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
なんかでぶつかった。つまずいた。証拠品むちゃくちゃ多いな。これは机のやつか。トランプ。違うか、お金か。
£1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. Malpal, soaked with salt water.
出た、マルパル。
A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk.
Coal
dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping, John. A violent death. But this man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
If they find out about the...
Sherry, just... We have seen some dark places in Cordona.
If they find...
違う。違ったー。
If they find out about the...
金なんだ。オッケーオッケー。
You've got to fall back, Sherlock. I think they're suspicious. Or they were checking you out.
If they find out about the...
はい、以上。金。違う。難民の野営地で何が起こっている？警察官たちが心配していたのは、遺体が発見されたことで野営地への出入りが厳しくない自分たちの計画で稼ぎを得ることができなくなるということだ。こいつらが金払って難民たちを入れたり出したりしてたのか。なるほどね。野営地からじゃあ話だけ聞いてくるか、まずは。
Is this familiar to you?
No, I don't think I can help you.
Do you know anything about this?
I am sorry. That's not something I know.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking about?
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
服装どういう服装で来ればいいんだろう。貧民で来ればいいか。
Excuse me, just one question.
Men like me don't like to be bothered by strangers.
警官の服装で来る。
May I ask for your assistance?
Please, stop bothering me. I don't know anything.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry. You sure you know?
多分見た目が違うのは間違いないね。
Could you help me?
I am sorry. That's not something I know.
一回外出なきゃダメ？中判定になってんだ、あそこ。見た目が違ってダメって言われてる気がするね。よし。
Simply the best garments on the...
アフリカ系の服装で行かなきゃいけんのか。アフリカ系の服装って。頭は頭特にそれっぽいのないんだけど。これかな。さあ、もう一回戻ってと。 話聞いてみますか。
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry, pal. I can't remember.
ダメ。
Is this familiar to you?
I've no spare coin for you. Leave me alone. This isn't working. You might need a different tap.
誰も知らないのか。こいつが知ってそうだ。
Excuse me, just one question.
I would like to help a companion in misfortune, but I know nothing about this.
こいつらは知らない。警察官に話しかけろってこと？
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
野営地でって言うから現場の人かと思ったけど、警察官に聞かなきゃいけないの？
Police boots. Always have a heavy boot. A man's footprint.
待ってね、警察官に話しかけてくるじゃん。この服だとダメそうだけどな。
Can I ask you a question?
It's illegal to disturb an officer without a good reason. Ask someone else.
警官の服装してくるか、じゃあ。アフリカ系がいないんだよな。
Are you able to help me?
Sorry, I have no time for your problems.
アフリカ系と話しかけることはできないから、アフリカ系じゃないのか。
May I ask you something? I wish I could help you.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what?
聞き込みを続けることになった。誰の服装で聞き込みすりゃいいんだもんね。あれかな、水夫かな。これもしかして密輸とかだから犯罪者かと思ったけど、水夫かな。まあ一回警察の服で行ってみるか。オフィサーで行こう。
Clothes for the finest people on the island.
Excuse me, just one question.
It's so hot today that I can't think of anything.
May I ask for your assistance?
No, I don't know anything about that. Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what?
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing springs to mind, officer.
May I ask for your assistance?
I'm a police officer too. Undercover, so just go away.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
本当に潜入捜査中、嘘でしょ。
May I ask for your assistance?
Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
May I ask for your assistance?
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About
Could
what
you help me?
dressed as what?
Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
また金が入らなくなる。水夫の格好してみよう。なんかの密輸入とかの話っぽそうだよなこれ。服装変えさせてくれ。着替えセット持ってこようでこれ。
Come, take a look.
水夫。今オスマンがダメ、貧民もダメだったから、次は水夫、警官もダメだったね。水夫、あと作業員、あとは貴族。この3つのどれかでいきゃいいや。総当たりでいきゃいいや。水夫。あれ、帽子は
Look at our clothes and accessories.
こんだけ高ければ大丈夫でしょ。いや、このメインストーリーに関してはマジで投げ。バイもう日が明けたわ。日が明けた？日が昇ったわ。夜が明けた。あ、いなくなってるね。
May I ask for your assistance?
Nah, sailor. That, I don't know.
Is this familiar to you?
No, my friend, I've never heard of it.
Oh, I am bored.
わからん。
Call me when you find the answer. 八重市で聞き込みをしようと思ってたけど、八重市が閉まったら話ができなくなるだけで、八重市内で聞き込みをする必要はないのかな。もう一回アフリカ系の服装で見てみるべきか。
Help me, please.
Sailor boy wants to talk, eh? Come back to this exact same place tomorrow, and we'll talk.
意味深なこと言ってたけど。関係ねえか。話しかけられそう今。この辺は。
May I ask you something?
I'd help you if I could, but I know nothing.
じゃあ違う。誰の服装でいけばいいんだこれ。
Simply the best garment.
よし。水夫ダメ。作業員。
On the island.
妊婦。日雇いの積み荷を入れる野郎たちで行ってみよう。よいしょ。
Excuse me, just one question.
I wish I could help you, mister, but I can't.
違いそう。違いそうわからんな。誰に話聞きゃいいんだろうね。
Do you know anything about this?
Sorry, pal. I can't remember.
金持ちに聞くしかないか。
Can I ask you a question?
You work, I count. There are no questions in this formula.
Time to check your who, what, and what.
Who are you
asking? About what and dressed as what?
May I ask you something? Oh, if only I could help you with this.
ってことは知らないってことか。
May I ask you something?
I've never heard of it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I am.
Is this familiar to you?
Call me when you
That's
find
a
the
good
answer.
question, friend. But like all good questions, I don't have an answer.
作業員もダメ。
Simply the best garments on the island.
八重市で聞き込みます。 オーソドックスな服装でいこう。
May I ask you something?
Oh, sir, I'm afraid I don't know about that.
ダメ、知らないって。
Are you able to help me?
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Cherry. Who are you asking?
Excuse me, just one question.
Just as what? I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
違うんだ。八重市ないじゃないけど。八重市って言ってもここじゃないよね、でもきっと。
What a pleasant man this Mr. Tewkesbury is.
もしかして、
You still here?
聞き込みってこいつか？
I'll just look around and do my paperwork. You won't even notice me.
I wish.
そんな気がしてきた。この会話は人に話しかけるマークじゃねえよ。
I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
Do you know anything about this?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Murder! Beasts!
あれだね、多分、
Could you
おっさ
help me?
ん、なんとかベリ
A
ー。
solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
This isn't working.
なんとかベリーに話しかけるときにやんなきゃいけないってことか。
You might need a different tack.
これでいけるか一回。ちょっとセーブしとこう。
You still here?
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
まだチェックはついてない。
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
May I ask for your assistance?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
ツッコミはしたけどね。 自分の同僚が関わってることに驚きはないような。
What a pleasant man this Mr. Tewkesbury is.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall blubberheads.
まだ。
Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
情報集めちゃっていい？進展はしたけど正直これを協力マークが終わる方法がわかんないな。これジョンの協力マークはこうチェックがつくんだよな。警察署行って報告してこようチクってやれ。もしくは新聞社に行って告発するか。違ったら一回諦めてそのまま情報集めようか。
Would you like to report a crime?
報告です。フレンズに聞いてくるか。
So much work, so little time.
死ね。ダメですね。
I'm watching you closely, Mr. Holmes.
ダメ。告発もできそうにない。じゃあ戻って情報集めますか。なんだろう、話が発展していくのかな、こっから。この人身売買と。妊娠した女性も売られた？で、子供はらまされて逃げてきた。写真を撮られて、その証拠を消すために殺しかけられた。まあいい、情報引き続き調べますか。数珠。
Carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment.
数珠。
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately.
放置されてる。
He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
また出てきた。傷口を洗うためのもの、感染を防ぐためのもの、ポーターとして使えるもの。警察は放置してるんか、これ。
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
That will kill, not save him. Someone was dragged against their will.
切り出されそうになったか。
The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place? It won't do any good.
あ、やべ、落ちた。どこ？どこ？出血できそうなものある？待ち合わせしてた。
Roadman's cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
止血できるもの。止血できるもの。あ、これか。
Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound.
止血できるもの。ああ、なるほど、煮沸。
I'll use it to create a solution.
あとは薬になる薬草とかを見つける必要があるか。また、これか。アロエ。
I can use this to stop the infection from spreading.
スターで縛る。
Nausea and stomach pain is not what he needs now.
これを取って。
I've plated all the ingredients now to prepare the first aid solution.
で、これか。マイナス4のマイナス6。マイナス4のマイナス6。これと、これか。まずは、これ足りるか。反転させて倍。これ多すぎた。これをマイナスして反転させれば4、OK。で、足し算してと。一応、まあ、いいか。よいしょ。
Thank you. This should make you feel better, my friend.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
ケースマジで見殺しにしそうになった。あと残ってるのがこの2個だけだね。これ、どうすんだろうな。話が進行しちゃったら情報集まんなくなるか。まだ重要な情報は集まりきってないよな。これ見た。めちゃくちゃ今回のやつ情報が多いな。まあ、逃走経路一回チェックする必要が。あ、これも見たな。これ先にやっちゃうか。まあ、これだけやる必要があるね。さてと。あ、今回多いな。証拠が多いからな。こっちからは必要ない。あそこで、まだ誰かと待ち合わせしてくる人の姿を見る必要があるな。はいはい。警察官と、殺害された男、一番の犯人の容疑者がここで待ち合わせをしていた。でだ、順を追っていこう。9、8、証拠の1番からだな。5、4、7。8。 1番がこれなんだ。こっちには情報ない。一番近場からやっていきますか。ここは最後に違う別の人だな。ああ、そうか、引き上げられたのか。多分こうだろうね。突き落として左手をついて落ちたと。これなんだ、お父さんとかかな、女性がレイプされた女性が蹴り上げた、もしくは抵抗した。こっちっぽそうだな。で、踏んじゃって入れ物が壊れた。見えない見えない。もみくちゃにしてるね、これ。走ってる？いや違うね。足の向きが逆だから多分ここでこういう感じになってるはず。後ろから誰かが報告しに来たんだ、これ。お父さんに話しかけられて。止めに入ってる。殺そうとしたんだよね、この多分妊婦の女性を、証拠を消すために。で、怒ったこのリーダーなのかお父さんなのかよくわかんないけど、止めに入ったと。何これ、違う。何が違うのか全然わかんねえ。これと彼だよね。腹刺された。彼が止めたのか、これ。マジ違いがわからんと。これ何なんだ。位置が違う。木を持ってる、これか。向きが悪いのかな。そういうことか。かばってるか連れ去ろうとしてるか。連れ去ろうとしてるんだね、この足の引きずった跡もあるし。で、違う。こういうことだよね。連れ去ろうとして抵抗してる時に襲いかかったけれども返り血にあって腹刺される。で、他にいた人が駆けつけてきてもみ合いになってナイフを奪って刺して突き落とす。で、死体が上がったと。どうですか。待てよ、変わってる。
You're not even
いや、
trying.
違う。何が違う。
Concentrate.
合ってるはず。これかな。俺ミスリードしてる。もしかして女性助けに来たの、この男。自分の子供だから。でも抵抗しているから、抵抗してるのは間違いないんだよね。この足の跡があるから。ここで踏ん張ってる跡がある。踏ん張ってる跡があり、そうだよね。これで合ってるはず。これが違うのか。追いかけた。
You're not even trying, Sherry.
でも足の跡があるから、これも多分これで合ってんだな。ここか。
You're not even trying, Sherry.
飛ばした向きも違うしな。これも多分蹴飛ばすんだったらここかけてるはずなんだよな。こういう風になると思うんだけど、でも違うか。 男がこう来てる時点で左手ついてんだよな。左手ついてるから間違いなくこれなんだよな。ここがちょっと今怪しいところ。この足の跡からして向きがやっぱり交差してるんだよね。靴を履いた男がこれでこの上を見て、裸足の男がこっち見てるからもみ合いになってるのは合ってると思うんだよな。何が違うか分かんない。どうもミスリードした俺は。読み直そう。まず一番上から。野営地に侵入した男は遺体は下水道に浮かんでおり、警察によって引き上げられた。男の良さし傷がある。足近くに付着した血の手形は、男が下水道に落ちる前に足を掴もうとしたことを示している。ここだね。これは合ってる。次。地面に落ちた血管は下水道の橋の、上の橋に続いている。橋のそばに摩擦できた足跡がある。下水道でできた橋の上に続いている。摩擦でできた足跡。これだね。ぶつけてできたかのような。ぶつけてできた。これか。これ踏み込んだと思ったけど、これ蹴飛ばしたのか。じゃあ逃げようとしたところを蹴飛ばした。となってくると、このもみ合いも怪しくなってくるな。駆け回ってたこれ。
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword?
で、警察が協力していることが分かったと。これがなんで解決しないのかもちょっと分からんな。違う目的があった。それがまだ分からんね。
You die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sort.
いやー、長くなってきた。
You still here?
I'll just look around and do my paperwork. You won't even notice me.
I wish.
あれ
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one
警
problem
察
for
が
you,
中
but
に
will
引き入れて
create
る。
a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger.
Oh,
but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one's...
まだ証拠残ってる。まだ情報を聞きたい。
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
聴取しろってことになってくるのか。
Can I ask you a question?
I can't help you, friend.
金持ってそうな服装のやつに聞かないとな。
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, sir, I'm afraid I don't know about
ダメ。
that.
金持ちはわからん。
Everyone's looking at us, Sherlock. You sure you know what you're doing?
Can I ask you a question?
That's not something I know, sir. Someone else might know more.
こういうやつらなら絶対してそうだと思う。
Help me, please.
So you think if you have money, we should bow to your whims? No, sir.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
ちょうるせえ。ああ、また服着替えてこなきゃいけないのか。よいしょ。犯罪者風の格好してくりゃいいかな。
Come, take a look at our...
他にプレイしてる人みんなどこで着替えてんだろう。ここしかないよな。犯罪者風の。
Clothes and accessories.
これだけでいいや、とりあえず。変装にも手を抜き始めた。一応これで貧困層のゲージが上がってりゃ大丈夫でしょっていう。すげえ学校。どっから遊びに来たんだっていう。ここに立ってる男が一番良かったんだけどな。
Excuse me, just one question.
I don't answer questions by your sort.
こいつは労働者層か。いた。犯罪
Is
者
this
層。
familiar to you?
I can't tell you, because I don't know.
You obviously haven't thought this all through.
彼らはわかんない。ああ、じゃああれか。労働者というかオスマン系とかアフリカ系に聞いた方が良さげだな。よいしょ。はい、じゃあまた着替えていきましょう。いやーめんどくせえ。着替えなきゃいけないの大変だわ。
The finest clothes.
ゲージ足りない？
For the finest people on the island.
どっちにも一応緑で触れるようにしとくか。ちょっとオスマン系にも話が通る。ただゲージとしてはオスマンはあるけどアフリカ系ゲージはないんだよな。じゃあ、はい。もういっつも迷子になってるわこっちだ。
Could you help me?
Oh, if only I could help you with this.
いや、H で聞かなきゃダメか。ない。
Excuse me, just one question.
I'm on a break. I don't want to think.
You obviously haven't thought this all through.
知らないの
Or you're
か。
just annoying these people on purpose.
あれちょっと待って。
Is this familiar to you?
What? No, no.
誰に聞きゃいいんだこれ。そういった情報は出てないな。
Are you able to help me?
Nothing stands between me and helping a fellow citizen, except the absence of knowledge. Ask someone else.
Time to check your
オスマン系にも
Who you asking?
労働者層的にもダメ。
May I ask you something?
Ah, mate, I have to disappoint you. I know nothing.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I wish I could help you.
警察に聞かなきゃダメかもな。
Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
でしょうね。あ、違うわ。この中にいる人に聞かなきゃいけなかったのか。
They often take us from the camp to work.
そういうことだ。人がいつの間にか戻ってきてたわ。気づかなかった。
It's the only way to get a glimpse of freedom.
難民の野営地で何が起きている？難民たちによればいかがわしい人たち、人間たちがよく野営地を訪れ、様々な仕事をさせるために難民たちを連れて行くという。仕事は大抵過酷なものだが、難民たちは賃金と食料を得ることができるという。おそらく乱暴された少女は仕事のために連れて行かれたのだろう。それ以来、難民たちは女性が連れて行かれることを拒否することになった。
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp.
なるほどね。
This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
よかった。出てきたね。あとはじゃあこの男に襲われて子供をはらんじまった女に話を聞いてみますか。これ自分の後継者にしようとしたとか。ああ、こいつか。
I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending.
顔はでもやっぱ美人だね。
The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
さて、情報は得られたけど。入れ墨の鍵。十字架。この手の勲章は通常は政府の高官に与えられる。写真に写っていた強姦犯がそうに違いない。 なるほど。誰に話を聞いてみればいいんだろう。
At least some of your kind have a heart. Thank you again.
You still here?
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours.
The
hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scalario. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo. Just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right?
Oh, 難しかった。じゃあ表に出て、まずはどっちから調べるかな。多分これは市役所、これは警察かな。密輸だからね。警察行ってまずは犯罪の情報を調べていきましょう。やっぱりマイストーリーに関しては時間がかかりますね。なかなかスムーズには進まない。よいしょ。犯罪。話題、容疑者、あった。ニコロ・ベルナドッティの取り調べの概要。ニコロ・ベルナドッティは1834年生まれの実業家、講演者で、コルドナでその名が知られている。ベルナドッティ株式会社を1873年に設立。結構な年だね、そうすると。本社はスカラディオ地区南東のバザー街道にあり、ローマ街道との交差点近くだ。匿名の情報筋からの垂れ込みがあり、1876年2月13日に署でベルナドッティ氏の事情聴取を行った。もたらされた情報は英国植民地であるコルドナと英国本土との酒と古代芸術の密輸にベルナドッティ氏が関わっていることを示していた。ベルナドッティ氏の社会で働く人間には以前、会社で働く人間には以前、強盗や暴行、恐喝及び脅迫とつながりがある疑いがかけられていた。証人として署でベルナドッティに事情聴取を行ったが、有罪にできるような明確な証拠は発見されていない。私とブース巡査による事情聴取で、ベルナドッティ氏は情報で示されているような行いや事実は関知していないと証言した。氏が英国に移住する前の行動についての文書化された情報やその他は何一つ得ることができなかった。ベルナドッティ氏が主張するように、1873年まで同氏はイタリアでシチリア島で屋台の事業を展開していたが、ロンドンに移住後、商品の輸入を始めた。この件に関しベルナドッティ氏の有罪にできる証拠は何一つないと結論付けた。なるほどね。これは多分場所に行ってチェックする感じかな。
The police had a lot on him, and at the same time, nothing at all. Amateurs.
よくある話じゃねえか。情報が足りなくて警察は動けない。下手に手出すとね、問題が大きくなってめんどくさくなるだけだから。勲章でしょ。交換、職業。時代関係ある。関係ないよな。違うね。勲章か。交換なんか役人か。トーマス・ノートンの略歴。トーマス・ノートンは1840年ロンドンに生まれる。執務室。ここだ。違う。ってどこだろう。こいつの話を受けてみる？
Have you found anything helpful?
あ、いた。お前か。いた。お前か。
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
Ah, ん？なんだこれ。あれ？あと一つはどこだ？裏に回れる？肩。どっちだろうね。これかな。
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
You blame yourself for what you did. Won't be any good unless you confess to me, so I'll try to be polite.
What sort of did are we talking about? Are you from the press?
I'm here because of Naylor.
Who?
You don't remember her name.
Lad, if you won't tell me where you came, I'll call for someone here to sort you out, if you get my meaning.
Do you recognize this man?
We definitely look alike. But you have the wrong person.
Really? Then you won't mind if I pass this along to the newspaper?
All right. All right.
手紙？
Is this about
脅
money,
迫されてんの
as you
か。
said in the letter? What kind of sum are we talking about?
I've never written a single word to you. Bribery, not my style.
So, that letter, it wasn't from you.
Well, it
なる
appears
ほ
that
ど。そ
more
こ
and
で
more
さっき
people in
の
the city are finding out about your despicable hobby, doesn't it? You're in the clutches of justice, and very soon they will squeeze you. It's in your best interest to cooperate.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long... Do you drink, Mr...
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr...
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position, yet here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes, and I'm no exception. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt. Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
That's not all. Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the...
情報がいろいろ出てきましたね。 これはミスリード側の方か。待てよ、これトロフィーにあった難民を全員助ける的なやつあったよね。常に難民の味方をする。
British imperialism. I take your point.
写真持ってくれって言ってたな。写真ってここにあったやつ？もしかして。入れさせてもらえるかな。なんだと。
You're acting so strange today, dear. I hope someday you'll let me inside that head of yours.
写真撮ってこれない。ここじゃないのか、そうすると。じゃあこっち先行きますか。スカラディオとなんとのバザーン、ローマ街道。スカラディオとバザーはスカラディオどこだ？バザー街道。バザー街道長っ。バザー街道長っ。スカラディオ地区の南東のローマ街道との交差点の近く。ローマ街道。この辺か。服装着替えた方がいいかな、これ。もうちょい先か。この辺のローマ街道との交差点の近く。この下、後ろかな。あ、これか。ベルナドッティ。ここです。入れる。
It seems they're not expecting guests.
I won't wait for. Can I ask you a question?
It isn't possible for me to help you. I'm sorry.
黒服ですよ。イタリア系のマフィアですか、これは。裏口。入れそうにないね。こっち側から入れるか。まあちょっとぐるっと見て回りましょう。朝に離れすぎか。こ こはあれかな、海軍基地的な明らかに怪しいもんな。ああ、入れる入れる。
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp.
明らかに犯罪種がプンプクする。
That's our way in, Sherry. You go talk to that beef. I'll sneak up from behind and take him out.
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
Good day, sir. I've been sent by City Hall to see Mr. Bernadotte about...
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotte's best interest to...
1.
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
拳で解決してしまったわ。よかったんだろうか。
Too simple.
どの辺だろう。見た、まだ来たな。
Don't bother moving. You've lost. Don't cry. You'll
give him the pepper snuff.
よかったな。マスクしなければ速攻でいける。
Take a rest, my friend.
どこ行った？いた。当たるのかな、こっからだ。当たるね。
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
基本的に脳筋なんでそのまま殴って、あ、当たってない。いい素人だいい素人だ。鼻が痛い。頭打ち抜いちゃったわ。
I'll put you 6 feet under. I'm coming for you.
Okay.
Take a rest, my friend. Don't cry, you'll live.
The snuff's ready.
I'm coming.
Yes.
Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
No more.
The snuff's ready.
Armor 着てるやつらがうるせえからな。よいしょ。
Don't bother, move.
Give him the pepper snuff.
あ、いたいたいたいたいたいた。やべ。まあ、いて。ダメか。当たんない。まあ、いや、これ。
Not that easy.
何？当たらんだと。
It won't work this way.
どうなっとるんだこれ。
I'm coming for you.
こいつ無敵か？マスクしてるもしかして。あ、マスクしてるからか。道理で。マジこいつ。 早いよ。
Time to knock this guy out.
Don't cry, you'll live.
マスクユーザーは強いよ、やっぱり。3つも使ってしまった。これででも出てきないかな、1体だけ。
Don't bother moving. You've
いや、終わってるよ。あ、終わったかいし。拳でかいけてしまったけど、よかったんだろうか。説得するしかないだろう。説得とは。出てきちゃった。
Is this familiar to you?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
この辺にいる悪いやつらはみんなのしてしまったか。反対側から入ってきゃいいのかこれ。違う。こっちじゃない。こっちか。
Sherry, look. This seems familiar.
密輸品ですね。
A Dogon. Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa. VH Grindley Flow Blue Tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited.
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you. An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
いいですね。
Let's see what's hidden there.
一致だ。この男。
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
でも女性日本人っぽいけどね。密輸された工芸品。多数の古代の月品がベルナドッティ社の倉庫に保管されている。その工芸品のほとんどがアフリカの原産だ。アフリカの竜文化の彫刻を描いた人物は簡素化され、ともあれば幾何学的だ。直営文化が誇る美しい卵型の仮面は女性的な美や死を表現しているのかもしれない。美術館から盗まれた絵画。悪魔に抱かれた裸の女性を描いた絵画。ベルナドッティ社の倉庫で発見したものだ。これがボナファス・マーキュリオによって作成され、バーナー・ボーゲルの美術館から盗まれた絵画だ。盗作した絵ではあるが、画家としてのマーキュリオの腕は疑いようもない。偉大とは呼べないものの、著名な画家になることができたかもしれないが、確かめようもないと。まだか。他に情報。
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
僕には分からん感覚。違う。
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
ないか。
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
年齢はでも違いそうな気がするな。
Keep standing in my way and no one will ever see you again.
戻してみようか。
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear. I've got to. It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
戻してみた。ゼッペリン関連。このボードと関係したりするの？
You acted so much like me.
誰に絶対にできたって。
The Bernadotte Company Limited Trade Network reaches the most distant colonies of the Great Empire.
This is where it must be very convenient for a man like Bernadotte.
こいつか。
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor.
これはゴールドな1875年。
1875. It's taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family. Spare me. Spare me.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. We shall talk.
表か。
Sherry, don't you think this office suits me?
まあ、いろいろチェックしてからですね。ないな。
Whenever you're ready, I'd hate to intrude.
まあ、もうクソ見てたからな。意外と若く見える。一番偉いマークか。結構交代してますね。よいしょ。殴ってる。日常的に殴ってる。ペラグラってなんですか。冷酷。既婚。ニコロ・ベルナドッティはギャングの辛辣な指導者で計算高い実業家だ。自信と危険に満ち溢れている。危険に備えて銃を近くに置いているが、今のところホルスタインを収められている。ベルナドッティは労働者階級の家に生まれた。貧しい家庭で育ったため、若い頃から現場で働かざるを得なかった。炎天下での重労働と栄養失調によるペラグラの症状に苦しむことになった。病気は克服したものの、皮膚には症状の跡が見られる。経済的に裕福になったにもかかわらず、豪華な生活を送っておらず、服や格好は保守的だ。ベルナドッティと彼の部下たちには同じ形式の異なった入れ墨がある。入れ墨は厳重に構成された秘密犯罪組織での異なる地位を表す暗号と見て間違いないだろう。犯罪だね。うん。
Bad news. The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotte, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
Mr. Bernadotte, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization, and thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotte.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office.
As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotte?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I am rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses all too often disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and
the
police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me as much as he deserves.
So in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
これで根拠が出てきたね。ベルナドッティは講師を脅迫しようとしている。ボーゲルに写真を渡すか。なるほど。重要な証拠のみ。セーブしちゃおう。
I need some time to consider your offer, Mr. Bernadotte.
The front door's now open, sir. You can leave through it.
何が足りてないの？
If you want, of course.
重要な証拠だけなんだよな。なんか証拠は足りてねえぞ。会話が足りてないのか。情報全部集まってる気はするけどな。出れなくなってはいるね。こっちか。表からは一応出れるようになったけど。
An essential remedy against sea scourge on any ship. Porcelain friend for every child.
この絵の情報がまだ見れてねえのか。
Shipped from Cape Town. The wine route from colony to colonies. This earthenware came a long way from the Staffordshire potteries. Bernadotte doesn't miss an opportunity to occupy every niche in the market.
Okay. どうしようかな、これ。難しいですね。真実は一つ。脅してたのは事実なんだよな。全体の利益のための必要悪かな。こっち取りますか。写真を渡して公表したら、襲われた女性もね、公になっちゃうからな。
Have you thought it all through?
Almost. The refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh. I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me, too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice for Ned.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugees.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
なんでこんな怪しい感じなの?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotte's office.
Bernadotte? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh, dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
Yes. さて、じゃあ行きますか。どこだ出口は。新しいやつもいくつか出てんじゃん。新聞社で依頼が出たね。警察署や市役所では出てないと。まあまあいいや。とりあえずマイホームに行って思い出に浸りますか。いや結構時間かかっちゃいましたね。何？ちょっと待って、何これ。作り物人形か。
And yet, oddly familiar.
ストーリーの進行はどれぐらいなんだろうな。今4つ目ぐらいのキーイベントをクリアした気がするけど。
Did you just remember something? Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock.
Eh?
So, you continue to pursue the imaginary.
Mycroft da.
I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill. But she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare...
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental. Because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
家の中へじゃあ入ってみますか。どこの部屋ですか。
The local justice system in all its glory.
にもまだ出れない。山の上2階かな。
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is sharp and well balanced, it would be a pity to leave such a tool behind.
そうすると、どこ？下だな、そうすると。お母さんの部屋だしね。山の上、あ、これ山じゃない、ピラミッドか。
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
知ってんだ。
Impossible. It must have been something else.
あの博物館の男は。
Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
誰がいたんだ？入り口玄関。
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that.
おー、やったね。ある日、シェリーと僕は剣術の特訓に使うのにちょうどいい木の枝を2本見つけて屋敷に持ってきた。さらにその日は巨大な発見物が広間の真ん中に運ばれてきた。荷物の中身はバイルツさんが鑑定を行う予定の人魚の骸骨だった。気分を良くしたバイルツさんはシェリーに人魚の感想を聞いた。彼は素早くそして自信たっぷりに人魚は偽物だと答えた。バイルツさんを感心させたシェリーは今までで一番幸せそうな表情を浮かべていた。その後、人魚は骨董博物館に運ばれ、バイルツさんが収集した贋作の一部となった。ということですね。よいしょ。
Ah, yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator and
I never saw
this
the
was
point.
among the hunting trophies.
What does it
of
matter
Scottish
if some
Viscount.
artifact is real or not? So he tried to
ここ贋
persuade
作
everyone
博
that
物
his
館か。
forest was inhabited by these beasts.
The full plate armor of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armor is armor, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade.
なんかの証書。破れた終了証書。骨董博物館で見つけた破れた終了証書。誰かが故意に何度も破いている。破れた証書を再構築して翻訳した。内容は次の通り、スイスのジュネーブ大学理事会を代表し、名誉総長たちは、オットー・リヒター氏が法律と規律で定められた試験に合格したことを認め、医学博士の学位を医師免許とともに授与するものとする。
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that. An impressive number of...
なんだろう。オットー・リヒターの個人的なメモ。ホームズ夫人は非常に興味深い 患者であり、私の理論の追求のためにはこれ以上ない被験体だ。私は精神的外傷を与えるような環境に彼女を繰り返し置き、なんだと。彼女の精神病を進行させるつもりだ。その状態で治療を行うことで彼女の精神が出来事を認めて受け入れ、合理化的に治療されると私は信じている。この仮説には自信があり、あとはそれを証明するだけだ。加えてホームズ家の人間が幅広く集まっているのは都合がいい。能力や障害など精神的特徴の遺伝性についても観察することができるだろう。家族全員が非常に高い知能を持っていることはすでに明らかだ。母親の症状が次男のシャーロックの精神状態に影響を与え始めていることがわかる。長男が保護的であることもあって適切な診察を行うことはできないが、シャーロックはジョンという空想上の友達という形で幻覚を見ているようだ。なんだと作られたものだった。オットーの弟からの手紙。兄さんへ。兄さんがコルノダに最近来たと聞いてね。私には会いに来てくれないのか。我々の意見はまるで合わないが、私は兄さんと交わす夜の会話が懐かしくてね。コルドナにできた新しい美術館は素晴らしく、私は毎週木曜にそこを訪れている。そこで会おうじゃないか。また私はクラウズの名を捨てているから、そのつもりでいてくれ。なるほど、博物館の美術館の館長、あの人が弟だったのか。
And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to the so-called mummy of a Persian princess. An archaeological find should be here. It's far better than beneath the old city. I'm not sure I want to hear its horrifying inhuman howl again.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. He even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's
I'm
for
not
the
sure
best.
I want to hear its horrifying...
I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong
1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mum...
手紙。判事からの手紙。ホームズさん、例の個人的な件に関する貴君の助力に最大限の感謝を述べさせてほしい。貴君の鋭敏な目と明瞭な頭脳がなければどうなっていったか考えると手筋が凍る思いだ。再び我々が会うことがあれば改めて感謝を述べさせてくれたまえ。マクドナガル判事。
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand. Dated 24th. Carefully open.
裁判所への召喚状。マイクロフト・ホームズ氏。コルドナ市役所はバイオレット・ホームズの死におけるオット・リヒター博士の裁判がマクドナガル判事により行われることを貴君に伝達する。非公開審判を行うという貴君の要望は受理された。この召喚状は貴君を重要証人としてリヒター博士の裁判に召喚するものである。貴君は裏面に記された日時にコルドナ刑事裁判所に出頭しなければならない。なるほど。違法な治療を行ってたのがバレて裁判行われてるのか。
Officer Luke. Reliable and driven.
あとは
This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
I'm starting to remember something. One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable. Another fake. Oh, John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. I remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for a
wigwam. Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
むちゃくちゃ証拠出てきたな。あ、合わないね。ジョンの頼みで長年の疑問だったゴッド博物館にあるマイクロフトの引き出しの鍵を開けることになった。
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
He opened the door to the postman, and they exchanged documents. If it was a real postman, of course. The painting on the wall was slightly a tilt. He stopped and straightened it. Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it? I think this is what we're looking for.
We made it. So what's there?
Single malt whiskey.
女王陛下からの贈り物。中身が半分入ったシングルモルトのウイスキーでマイクロフトのお気に入りの酒だった。骨董博物館の机の引き出しに重要書類の束とともに保管されているのを見つけた。驚くべきことにこのウイスキーはビクトリア女王からの直々の贈り物のようだ。まあそういう仕事してますから。
Otto
マイクロフトの調査。オット・リヒターは45歳でスイスのバーンの有名な家に生まれた。未婚で後継ぎはいない。スイスのジュネーブ大学を卒業した医療従事者。実習科目で起こった事件により卒業は1年延期された。1863年に両親をコレラで失い、唯一の肉親は腹違いの弟で35歳になるクラウスだ。クラウスは最後にコルドナで目撃されたが、その後の消息は不明である。
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
むっちゃくちゃ情報集まってきたね。
I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
$18.50.
上に何かあるんじゃない？何かあった。
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what, and we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
出た。さて、何をすりゃいいんだこれ。階段で遊んで。何これ。ああ、なるほどね。殴り合いになったのか。いやいやいやいや。
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. これだってないの？You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. マジでこのルートですか？ You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying. このルートは違うだろ、どう考えても。Sherry, concentrate. なんで違うんだ？手に持ったのは紙だよね。問い詰めてんだろうな。お、待ってない？まだ何もしなかった。遊ぶ前だったのか。そういうことか。
Come on,
はしごミスリードか。
Let's go outside. Wait, did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them.
興味深い会話。すべてが始まったのは4月9日にバイオレットさんの部屋で起こった事件のすぐ後だった。シェリーは夫を博物館の品で遊ぶことにし、僕も彼について行った。すると僕らは偶然マイクロフトと夫リヒターの言い争いをしているのを聞いた。マイクロフトは怒っていた。彼はリヒター博士がバイオレットさんにしたことはに逆効果だったと主張し、夫を詐欺師と呼んでいた。
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
訪問者。
Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
どこ？訪問者。 もしかしてこれ合わせてないと出てきてくれない？違うな。違う。ここにこれか。ボーゲルからの招待状。ホームズ君へ。グランドサライ地区北部コルノナ修道院の向かいのターコにあるカートマンチョスの邸宅で君を待っている。すぐに来てくれたまえ。都合が悪くても来てほしい。君の友人 VV。ビクトリア・ボーゲルか。推進不必要な面倒ごとに巻き込まれないよう適切な衣装を送っておいた。ぜひ来てくれたまえ。
An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
これを着ていけと。ここだ。自分家だと着替えられるんだ。なるほど。どれボーゲルの適切な衣装って。これ怪しいですね。これは明日やりますか。はい。ではですね、今日はこの辺で終わろうと思います。またですね、次回よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございました。